Hey, what's up guys? It's Ruben here. Welcome back. We're gonna go into the second phase of recovery and what that looks like. If you haven't watched the first video, please watch that because this won't make a whole lot of sense. Now we're getting into the second phase of recovery. Now the second phase, you've accessed, you're aware of these different aspects or parts of your personality. You can access them, you're aware of them. And so the second phase is exploring fears, okay? Exploring fears. Why? Because we have access to the parts. The only reason these aspects of your personality exist, because if you remember, you came into the world whole. You came into the world as a whole, as a whole being, as a whole soul. Now, when these frightened parts exist, they only exist because there's pain down here, or else it wouldn't exist. Now, that is the reason the second phase, we explore fears. We trace this down and we figure out what happened. I'll give you an example of this, right? So I had some trauma. I had some bullying trauma. Up here in Canada, there can be a lot of racism with the Indian people up here. And if you're darker skinned like me, you will get bullied. It's the society around here. If you're darker skinned, it's a really bad thing up here for certain people. And so I remember when I would go into these groups, there were certain groups that I went into, and for some reason I would start flashing back. They call this flashing back. I would keep flashing back to incidents when I would be in groups and people would be making remarks about my skin color. And it even happened to me, as I got a little older, I would go into certain groups and I get these images flashing back. So that would be an example. There's a frightened part, and there's an image being presented to me of something that traumatic that happened to me in the past. And that's why we explore the fear. It's because up here, intellectually, I said, all is forgiven, it's all good. The past is the past, try to be positive, but I'm looking to the future, that type of thing. But that's intellectual. There's two parts to moving on from something. Remember, there's the traumatic event and the way it made you feel. So again, I'm going into these groups, I'm getting a flashback to this image, and what happens is you trace that image down, you explore the fear, you trace the image down, and then you find what is the painful emotion that's being held in the body. For me, it's like I didn't have any worth. It's like I was sitting there, people making comments, like, all of these people making comments about my skin. I had to sit there. I felt like I had to take it. I didn't see a way out of it. I didn't want to cause a scene. I felt alone, and it just sat there and got trapped in my body and affected me in ways that I just didn't know. Now, we trace that down, that feeling, like what I just described, we trace it down to a sensation and we reprocess it. Now, what happens when you reprocess? So again, the only reason this is splintered off and it's locked in by fear, we explore the fear, and if we reprocess this so there's no more pain, then what happens is the fear dissipates because there's nothing to be fearful of. If the pain doesn't exist in the body, there's no more irrational fear. So the fear lifts and the frightened parts get reintegrated back here. And what happens, and picture it guys, as you start reprocessing all of this and you start reintegrating all of these splinter parts or aspects of your personality back over, that's when you get balanced and whole again. And so that's what the recovery looks like, because you'll notice as you keep going through painful experiences in your life and you keep splintering off and just telling yourself you're okay, you're fine up here, you get less and less and less of this in your body, right? Of that higher energy to you. And the goal is to reintegrate all of those aspects of you that have been splintered off, that are sitting in that irrational fears, to reintegrate, be whole, and not be walking around in such terror, paranoia, that sort of thing. All right, guys, so just to recap here, all human beings, everything they do, all of their behaviors can be framed through love and through fear. The two basic, really driving emotions of all human behavior. And what happens when you go through life experience is you come into the world whole as a true whole soul. And as you go through painful experiences, parts of you or aspects of your personality start to splinter off. Why? Because there's pain. There's pain. And what happens when there's pain in the system? Irrational fears lock that into place. So what do? The first phase is we learn to access, we gain this new awareness. And so we give you that awareness, how this is showing up internally inside you, how to access it. And then once you're able to do that, we go down, we explore the fears so we can trace down and see what pain is locked in your body. What pain are you carrying in your body that you just don't have the tools to process? And once we unburden, once we reprocess these painful emotions, get them out of the system, we reintegrate these parts back so you're whole again. So that is what recovery looks like, guys. It is a very systematic approach. And the beautiful thing is it's not done up here. It's not an intellectual process. It's experiential and it's somatically through the body. So if you have any questions at all, shoot me a message. I'd love to chat. And be sure to do your meditation videos, the body scan and the accessing the parts meditation. All right, guys, so thanks for watching the series there. And I hope that gives you an overall just roadmap overview, a bird's eye view of what this recovery looks like. And I hope that just alleviates some of that pressure, some of that hopelessness, that just confusion, right? That confusion that you feel inside, why things are happening the way they're happening. By the way, if these videos really resonate with you, a lot of cars out here, but yeah, so if it really resonates with you, what you can do is join my private Facebook group. It's got a lot of videos, a lot of articles. Sorry guys. A lot of videos, articles, resources that you can learn more about this, more about social anxiety recovery. And yeah, it's life-changing stuff, guys. So I'll be in there, I'll be there to answer questions. You'll have access to me, and it is super impactful stuff. Hey guys. It's okay. And yeah, so it is life-changing stuff, and it'll have a huge impact on your life. So I'll see you in there. You'll have access to me in there and all of the guys in the community. So I hope to see you in there, and I'll see you on the inside. All right, peace guys.